What's up, gremlins, and welcome to Level Up, Episode 2, Into the Stardew Valley of Death, on Mom Said It Was My Turn. My name is Andi. Today is May 27th, 2019. In 1930, Richard Dew invented masking tape. Watch Dogs was released in 2014, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 was released in 2004. And today I want to talk about a game that is very near and dear to my heart, Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley was released on February 26, 2016 by one Eric Barone, also known as Concerned Ape. He developed the game on his own, but partnered with Chucklefish to publish the final product. Stardew Valley is a very simple farming sim with rather basic but beautifully done mechanics. Across all platforms, it sold 3.5 million copies, and it was one of Steam's top-selling games after release. While it is an open-ended game, Stardew Valley has a bit of a plot, following your character's move to Pelican Town in the titular Stardew Valley. There they meet the 28 citizens of Pelican Town, and the 12 potential love interests that they might fall in love with and marry. Well guys, gals, and non-binary pals, my name is Andi. I'm a dork with way too much time on my hands, and I want to help you level up your life. Stardew Valley has a simple but elegant design that's made it a hit amongst players, and while it is marketed as a farming sim, it is so much more. Stardew Valley was a labor of love for Concerned Ape, as it was developed entirely by him, including the score. Stardew Valley at the time of recording is sitting at a 10 out of 10 on Steam, and a 4.7 out of 5 on iTunes. The game is available for PC on Steam, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. It is also available in app form for both Apple and Android. While I've never played games like Harvest Moon or Animal Crossing, from friends who've played both, I've been told that there's a lot of similarities. From Barone himself, Harvest Moon was a major influence for the game in terms of gameplay. But unlike Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley doesn't end and allows the players to live out their farming fantasies to their heart's content. In terms of gameplay, Stardew Valley is very easy to pick up and extremely hard to put down. The game combines farming, ranching, crafting, cooking, fishing, foraging, mining, fighting, and romancing in a fun way. The game world works on a simple one-month season mechanic, which you the player must take into account when purchasing the different seeds during the seasons, lest you accidentally buy 20 cabbage seeds, plant them all on the last day of spring, and wake up the next day to a rotten crop. This calendar also includes birthdays and celebrations that your character can participate in. The game has a great day and night cycle, with your character needing to sleep in order to function the next day. It's honestly super funny when you've been playing the game well into the night and the prompt "It's getting late" pops up at midnight and you think to yourself, I better get to bed so I have enough energy to water my crops tomorrow. And there you are, at 3 a.m., playing Stardew Valley. Along with managing your time, you must manage your energy as efficiently as possible to ensure that your farm is well taken care of. The layout of Stardew Valley and Pelican Town is very easy to memorize, though it can be a little daunting for inexperienced players. Or at least it was for my girlfriend who kept getting lost in the woods or stranded at the beach. The game begins with character creation, so you can build a very simple sprite. It's a bit on the sparse side, but considering the fact that 1, it was created by a single person, and 2, it's all pixel art, it doesn't really matter. Here the player can choose their outfit, name themselves, as well as their farm. My longest played farm is called Husbandry, which is named after the world of Critical Role. Along with character creation, you have a choice between 5 different farms which affect gameplay and farm layout. The first option is the traditional farm layout with a few small lakes in it. The second is a riverside farm with more optimal spots for fishing rather than farming. The third is a forest-based farm with greater opportunities for foraging. The fourth is a more rocky landscape which is better for mining. And the fifth and final option is a monster-based farm where you must clear out the area of slimes and other creepy collies to protect your crops. I have only ever played the first choice, the default farm, and I'm hoping to do a playthrough on Mom Said It Was My Turn with Julia using the monster farm or the river farm. Now, some spoilers, I guess, ahead. If you have the chance to pick up a copy, I can't recommend it enough. It goes on sale pretty frequently, and the app versions of the game are cheaper and portable. The game begins with you receiving advice from your dying grandfather who tells you that he used Stardew Valley as an escape from his boring menial life. He gives you the deed to his farm in hopes that you will follow in his footsteps. At some point, your character is also fed up with the mindless desk job they have at Joja Corporation, and instead heed their grandfather's advice and escape to Stardew Valley. Once there, they meet Lewis, the mayor, and Robin, the town carpenter. They give you a little advice along with your grandfather's old tools and some seeds to help you get started. One of your first tasks is to meet all 28 residents, which I'll now proceed to list. Kidding. Each character has a schedule that they follow, which changes depending on the date, day of the week, season, and weather. They also have certain items that will help you become their friend, unlocking events where your choice can either be a boon or a bane for the friendship. With this first initial task, we meet the 12 bachelors and bachelorettes of Pelican Town, Each can be romanced by giving them the right gifts and saying the right thing during their heart events. For the 6 bachelors, we have Alex, the former high school grid boss star, Elliot, an aspiring writer, Harvey, the town doctor, Sam, the skateboarder, Sebastian, the resident emo kid, Morrow's half-brother and fandom favorite, and Shane, the town drunk that really just wants to raise his special chickens, and he is my personal favorite. For the 6 bachelorettes, there is Abigail, the alt girl and Pierre's daughter, Emily, the saloon worker and Haley's sister, Haley, the stereotypical popular girl and Emily's sister, Leah, an outdoorsy sculptor, Maru, a lover of all things science and Harvey's assistant/nurse and Sebastian's half-sister, and Penny, the teacher. Of the 12, both Emily and Shane became eligible for marriage after an update a little bit after the game's release. Elliot, Harvey, and Shane are stated to be the older bachelors. All 12 have their own personality and quirks which make them really stand out. Romancing these characters is mainly just involving giving them gifts, but it unlocks new interactions which are fun. You can get married to an NPC of your choice and have kids with them. When it comes to LGBT characters, the game does a pretty good job, as all romanceable NPCs are player sexual, which is a horrible way of saying that you can romance them regardless of your character's gender. The player learns that the community center is home to little creatures called, and forgive my pronunciation, Jiminos, helpful sprites that want to help the town. By giving them certain gifts, the player can help the Jiminos rebuild the town. However, the local JoJo Mart branch is looking to purchase the community center, and should you purchase their membership, they will take the land. I have yet to either complete the community center quest, mainly because I can't find one specific item I need, or join JoJo Mart. I've recently started a new farm using the forest terrain with the intention of buying a JoJo Mart membership just to see what happens. With each community center bundle completed, the town becomes a little better, helping make life just a little bit easier for the inhabitants. This includes fixing the bus line that connects Stardew Valley to the nearby Calico Desert. The player learns that there is a mine filled with monsters nearby that needs to be cleared out. By joining the Adventurers Guild, the player can help by meeting certain goals and earning rewards such as better weapons or clothing. Mining provides ore which can be used to help upgrade tools, and you can also get coal. At the bottom of the mine, the player finds a mysterious note directing them to the Skull Cave in the Calico Desert with new monsters and rewards. While clearing out the land to either build a coop or a shed or just to clear up the area a little bit, the player stumbles upon what looks to be an altar with a note from their grandfather, stating that he will return by the end of their 2nd year. There is a cooking and crafting element to this game. Over the course of the game, players can learn different recipes for food and items. The food recipes can help the player recreate the favorite dish of an NPC they wish to befriend, and the crafting mechanic allows you better farming equipment such as sprinklers. As cutesy as Stardew Valley is, the lore of the game is actually really sad. Stardew Valley takes place in a country called the Ferngil Republic, which is embroiled in a war with the Go Toro Empire across the Gem Sea. NPC Kent, who is married to Jody and the father to Sam and Vincent, is a veteran who returns from the war a year after you moved to Stardew Valley. If you manage to unlock his 3 heart event when you visit him and Jody in their home, Jody will be making popcorn, which triggers his PTSD. He mentions that the sound reminds him of the war and that he's lost friends because of it. According to Concerned Ape, Kent has been away for years, which explains some of the dialogue he'll say to your characters, such as, "Are you friends with my son? You probably know him better than I do." Some have actually theorized that this war is what caused JoJo Mart to take root so quickly in different communities and why the prices for many things are extremely high. The community surrounding Stardew Valley is one of the most wholesome ones that I've ever had the pleasure of being a part of. The Reddit page is filled with art and homemade Stardew Valley creations. Users often post their accomplishments and share stories about their farms. There's also a large number of dedicated modders who've learned to shape the base game. There's something interesting for everyone. Most are purely cosmetic mods, changing the design of buildings, adding different characters to the surroundings, and even changing the animals, though some do add some content. One mod, which I haven't had the chance to use but would like to, is the Monster Valley mod that changes all the bachelors and their families into different monsters. PCGamer.com and PCGamesN.com have lists of the best mods, which I will link below and highlight my recommendations for newcomers or those who just want to enhance their experience. The mods range from changing character design to helping you categorize your chests to making it a little easier to save the game. Now, with only 2 of the 38 NPCs being POC, my favorite mod, which I will link for those who want to check it out, is the Diversity mod, made by Not Snuffy. However, they haven't updated the mod in a few years. As said before, the base game only has 2 characters of color, Maru and her father Demetrius, and a case could be made for Alex being maybe just white passing, though it's a little hard to say. These mods assign different races and ethnicities to various characters, as well as adding trans characters and a disabled character. It's very clear that the diversity mod isn't a palette swap, it's a carefully crafted mod to create a new look for characters while staying true to the original art style of the game. This mod makes Haley Black, Emily Black, Sebastian East Asian, Robin East Asian. It creates a variant hairstyle for Maru, an albino Demetrius, as well as a variant hair Demetrius. It makes Harvey Sikh, Elliot a dark-skinned black man with a variant hairstyle on top of that, which is my favorite mod. It makes Leah Native American, Penny trans, Alex Samoan, Caroline Filipino, and Abigail Chinese and Filipino. While it isn't all the characters, Sarah Cyan along with a few others have picked up where Not Stuffy have left off with an unofficial continuation by creating wonderful additions such as Shane, who is now Hispanic, Marnie, his aunt, who is also Hispanic, and Jazz, Shane's niece, is now Afro-Latina. Kent now is sporting hearing aids and a prosthetic leg. These aren't the only diversity mods. Some make Evelyn and George Latinx, so the original Alex is mixed and white passing like me. The Evelyn mod is called the Abuela mod, which makes me very happy. There's also a Trans Sam mod and a mod that makes Jodie and Vincent Middle Eastern. These mods don't change dialogue. They do, however, modify the portraits and the character sprites to fit these changes. These simple changes are amazing and shows the dedication that players have to the game. However, it wasn't without controversy. There was a mod that made both Maru and Demetrius white. If I remember correctly, the diversity mod was made in response to this. For this podcast, I researched the mods, and looking at white Demetrius and Maru made my stomach hurt, and the amount of hate people receive for saying, hey, this is super wrong, is super disheartening. People called it hypocritical that everyone was up in arms about the whitewashing of characters, but praising, and Lord forgive me for saying this, the blackwashing of characters. Some called the whitewashing mods more aesthetically pleasing, which reading aloud took 5 years off of my life. Others compared the mod to blackface, stating that the mod did nothing but retexture the game to make existing white characters not white. You can clearly see that this isn't just make their skin darker and call it a day. These mods took a lot of time and effort, and the various creators of the diversity mods should be proud of their work. The whitewashing mod creators are not indicative of the community as a whole, and it's a very small, very isolated group who basically enjoy antagonizing POC who enjoy the game. The original diversity mod creator, Not Snuffy, made a very good point about creating a diversity mod and why they felt it was necessary. And I quote, Demetrius and Maru are the only people of color in the game. Whitewashing them removes what very little representation the game has. White people don't need more representation. They can pick up any game, see any movie, watch any TV show, and see characters like them. POC are only movies, TV shows, and minor characters, or to meet a we have a POC therefore not racist quota. They go on to say, and I quote, making over some characters in Stardew Valley as POC because frankly I almost didn't buy the game because I was so disappointed in the lack of representation, end quote. This is the exact reason why many people use this mod, including myself. As a Latina, it was kind of disheartening to see the lack of representation, but my heart became so full when I saw people were picking up the slack and creating a space for themselves in this game. You don't know how excited I was to boot up Stardew Valley on my PC, having added these mods, and seeing Elliot on the beach and Emily in the saloon. To those who dislike the diversity mod or say it's unnecessary, just have a few words for them. Call me a soy boy, an SJW cuck, or whatever your bullshit is. Just admit that you don't like it when people of color are having fun and call it a day, alright? Hopefully this lack of representation will be a lesson for Concerned Ape as he develops a sequel, which, speaking of, there is a sequel in the works. According to the creator, it isn't a true direct sequel or an expansion. It will, however, take place on the same planet, but will most likely not have the same gameplay as the original. Details are sparse as Concerned Ape doesn't want to create too much hype only for people to be disappointed with the end product. My only hope is that the next game retains the same art style as the first and the sound design. Last year, Concerned Ape released a multiplayer update which allows players to share a farm with up to 3 other friends or even strangers, where they can build their farms together from the ground up. I do not believe the update supports cross-platform play, but my god if it isn't fun. Over my school's winter break, I managed to convince my girlfriend to purchase Stardew Valley for her PC at full price, and we started a farm together. It was a lot of fun to play with her over Skype and enjoy the very simple gameplay as being able to show her all the tips, tricks, and secrets from my first playthrough. It was also really funny to watch her struggle with the fences. She did not know how they worked. On top of all this, there is such a thing as competitive Stardew Valley, where people attempt to get more money and resources by the end of a certain time than other players. While I don't think it has esports potential, it's still a fun way of showing the togetherness that Stardew Valley creates. Now, I have 2 Stardew Valley confessions to make. 1. I own Stardew Valley for both my Switch and my laptop. I bought the Switch edition Christmas Day last year, which is when I got my Switch. I played Stardew Valley for about 5 hours straight and immediately bought it for my PC at full price. Anyone who knows me personally knows that I usually only buy games on Steam when they're on sale. Nope. As of this date, I've spent approximately $30 on this game, and here's the thing. If there was another physical Switch copy released, I would purchase that at full price. And number 2, Stardew Valley is one of my longest played games. It's only second to Breath of the Wild. For Breath of the Wild, over the course of just slightly over 2 years, I've logged about 195 hours. With my time played on PC and on my Switch, I have a combined total of 87 hours. That's 22 hours on PC, 65 hours on my Switch. My next highest played games are Monster Prom, Dream Daddy, and Batman Arkham Asylum at around 24 hours each. I've played almost 90 hours of Stardew Valley over the course of 6 months. That's a lot of farming! With all those hours put into Stardew Valley, I'm something of a seasoned player, so here are Andi's helpful farming tips for newbies. Number 1. Check the TV at the beginning of every day. This gives you a chance to learn some tips and have some insights on your day, as well as learn recipes quicker. You can also learn the weather for the following day and plan your day accordingly. Number 2. Save some of your crops. As part of the community bundles, it's gifting crops, so save a bit of your harvest to help you get started. This also goes for animal products, foraging, and fishing. Number 3. Pace yourself. It's pretty daunting to see the scope of what other players' farms are. Don't compare their farms to yours. They probably have had hundreds of hours on top of yours. You will get there in your own time. Number 4. Do not use cheats, at least for your first playthrough. And I'm not talking about mods that make things just a little bit easier. I'm talking about the ones that help you make money faster. This kind of cheapens the experience. There's something just very satisfying about clearing out the land and building your farm from the ground up on your own. Number 5. Don't be afraid to use guides. They're extremely helpful, and there are both online versions and printable versions to help you keep track of all your progress. Number 6. Pierre's is closed on Wednesdays. Do not forget, you do not know how many times I needed to buy seeds, and it was fucking Wednesday, and I wasn't about to go to Joja Mart to buy their shitty seeds. No, I had to wait until Thursday. Number 7. Mods can be overwhelming. Don't feel bad for not using them. They're a little tricky to add to Stardew Valley. From what I heard, they've become a little bit easier, but they still can be a lot. There's so many different ones that you can choose from, and you might not know which ones might not end up working with each other. And number 8. Stardew Valley is supposed to be fun and relaxing. Don't let others deter you from enjoying it. All in all, Stardew Valley is amazing, with a wonderful developer and a great fan base. It's just so relaxing and fun to play, as well as to share with friends. It is indie titles like this that really showcase the creativity and the intelligence of the industry. This is a game that really shows what mainstream gaming can be, fun and enjoyable for all. If you're on the fence about owning the game, just take a look at the Reddit page r/Stardew Valley. If nothing else, it will blow you away with the quality of fan creations, the love of the players, and the dedication of the creator. Would you like more Level Up? Subscribe to MomSaidItWasMyTurn on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, and tune in next Monday for episode 3 of Level Up, The Girl Who Cried Wolfenstein. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed me gushing over Stardew Valley.